From very early childhood, elephants were my favorite animal. Anytime someone asks, "Oh, elephants," that's it. And so I just always liked them. I never, growing up here, I never thought, "Oh, that couldn't be a job." It just wouldn't work out. But I was 10 years old and I saw this project on a nature show on TV, and so it was all about the woman that I now work for. And so it said, okay, someone can go over to Africa and do this kind of work and live there and study elephants. And that was basically it. I contacted her shortly after, and we had corresponded over several years. And then I just had the opportunity to go and visit, and it all led from there. It's always been a family school, so it was kind of the early, just, oh yeah, I'll go to K-State. So I knew I could go in the biology program and get the basics for that kind of research, but also, so a lot of the time I had talked about what I wanted to do, and people were like, well, that's kind of a strange thing. You're from Kansas. We don't have elephants here. How are you ever going to get involved in that? But from the early admissions process at K-State, that's a really interesting goal. We think that K-State can be a place that you can get what you need to achieve that, and several people saying, we personally want to help you get there, and we'll do whatever we can. So, and those people all through the 4 years, they were there, and if I needed help or advice on things, and they were getting me through it. And Jim Hohenberry in the College of Arts and Sciences was one of the early people that he is in charge of the competitive scholarships. So he kind of latched on to the sort of unusual side of what my goals were. And so freshman year, we have the Mark Chapman Scholarship that you can apply for any project you want to do. And if they think it's valid and you have things planned well enough, they'll give you the money to do it. So did a trip to Kenya with that after freshman year, and then did some other applications. And then senior year came around, and he's like, I think we need to do a Fulbright from this. And so just having somebody that I would personally, hearing about something like that, I was like, it's pretty competitive. I don't know what my chances would be, but to have somebody saying, you have a chance, I'll work with you on your application until it's as good as it can be, and this is a real possibility. I always imagined myself being more behavioral research, kind of just observing. And so I was looking for a job in a lab. I figured I would be washing Petri dishes, doing some menial labor at first, but it was Dr. Tony Jorn that I got in contact with, and he said, well, we want to do some work with the bison, and we need somebody to do it. So that was, come in, you'll have supervision and help and you need it, but we want you to learn how to use this software, we want you to collect the data, and we want you to figure out how to analyze it. So that was really great experience just to get thrown in that basically the whole range of activities that I would do in research, and to just get the confidence that, okay, I can work with this data, try some things, figure out how to analyze it, and I'm not having to be directed all the time on it. And basically, like I said, something that I came into accidentally almost, set up everything for what I'm doing now. And it also changed my plans because now I'm wanting to pursue the GIS side of things rather than behavior. So there's some lucky things in there. With my work with the Amboseli Trust for Elephants, I'm using geographic information systems technology to, we have 5 elephants with GPS collars that we're tracking. We get a position every hour, all the time. So collecting large amounts of that data, and then so we see throughout the year how far an elephant travels, what areas they go to, how far they leave the protected areas to go to other grazing. And then when I was last there, I was also doing a lot of mapping of human settlements and schools, churches, new places that have been built, and their homes also, and water points, because they have a lot of livestock that the same water points are used by the wildlife and their cows and goats and things. So what I'm going to be working on now is mapping both of those together and seeing these outline areas that the elephants use and how those overlap with human settled areas, and then we can see areas that we would expect there to be conflict between wildlife and people and compare that to reports that we have, and creating a more strategic plan for conservation within this ecosystem that if we can say wildlife use these areas a lot, we should avoid allowing more human development in that area, and also finding ways to benefit people with that so they're not establishing farms in places where all their crops are going to be destroyed constantly, or if their livestock are in danger, or their children. This one was unusual because most of these rescues, they've been stuck in a well long enough that the mother has had to leave. That lots of times the Maasai will come to water their livestock and the mother gets chased away, and then after that point there's really no hope of reuniting them, because even if we could find out who the mother was, the fact that the baby is with humans would be very difficult for her to accept. This was different because the mother was there waiting when we arrived, and so the whole time that we were working on rescuing, basically the whole video, one of my colleagues is in another vehicle keeping the mother away for that entire time. So she was maybe a mile away, and it was just constant driving back and forth to block her from coming back and charging us and doing who knows what. It's because she was a very protective mother. So she waited all that time, was trying to get back, and then so that allowed that we finally got the calf free. And as soon, you can tell from the video, as soon as he was out, could tell what direction his mother was in, headed off that way. And so then it was just the other car kind of withdrew and they could get to each other.